Miami Heat are only averaging 99 points per game in this series is because of the defensive presence of the Cavaliers.
No Darius Garland for the Cavaliers. Second straight DNP for him. He was a little bit closer, but still not ready to return from that sprained big toe on his left foot that he sustained a couple of nights ago. So they'll get him an extra night of rest. And Kenny Atkinson and the Cavs would love nothing more than to end this thing tonight, get as much rest as possible before they start to look ahead to the next round. But listen, Miami, as gritty as they come, we know what this team has done, Candace, especially in recent years in the postseason. How much fight does this Heat team have left in the tank tonight?
Well, Heat culture never gives up. And talking before the game with Eric Spoelstra, they just have to get one, and that's their mentality. I think they have some things they have to clean up on the offensive end. They have to figure out how to get into the paint so that they're able to utilize the three-point shooting that they have on this Miami Heat roster.
James Williams, Kevin Scott, JP DeRosa, and right off the bat, Jared Allen, who led them in scoring with 22 points in Game 3, throws the first uppercut punch.
And right there, just in terms of if there's any indication what the Heat are gonna face, it's this right here. How about your center out denying thunderous dunk, and then again, full court press, don't allow the Heat to get in to their offense early, and that's the difficulty that they're playing against time and time again, especially off of a Cavs make when they're able to set their defense.
Miami Heat, a 37-point loss in Game 3, worst playoff defeat in their franchise history. As Sam Merrill, who's making his 5th start of the season, comes up with the steal on the baseline. So 2 possessions for the Heat, 2 takeaways for Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell, a couple of fakes into the corner. Open look at the 3 for Mobley, an extension of his offensive evolution this season. Tyler Hero, transition 3, challenged by Merrill, and Hero bangs it in nonetheless.
And that's a great sign. They need Hero to be able to hit those pull-up jump shots. Again, the faster the pace the Miami Heat play with, the better their offensive fluidity has been.
Open look at a 3, that is Mitchell. And that's where this Cavaliers team is. He just had a subpar game in Game 3. They didn't need much from him offensively, and they still won by almost 40 points. 3rd Heat turnover. Mitchell off to the races. Inside, layup, no. And Davion Mitchell fighting Mobley for it. The officials say jump. There's Kenny Atkinson. Candace, boy, just unlocked this roster. Again, not many huge roster changes from the team that won 47 games last year. And here they are with what they did, 64 wins and 1 win away from the conference semis.
Well, you talk about a debut. 64 wins in your first year as a head coach. But also it was just the buy-in. I mean, you look at what Mitchell has done on the offensive end as he knocks down yet another 3 from beyond the arc.
Looks like they're going to inbound the basketball again. Mitchell, Candace, you knew after what happened in Game 3, he wanted to come back and put his best foot forward. And what a start for Donovan Mitchell in this Cleveland offense.
Well, he's done it in so many different ways. Game 1, didn't shoot the ball well from beyond the arc, was 9 of 10 from 2s. We saw some tough finishes in the paint. I mean, he really is a versatile dog.
Tyler Hero, who took only 3 threes in Game 3. It was such a wacky game, got so much out of hand. Already has fired up his 2nd early in this game. Mitchell trying to fend off Wiggins into the paint, into the corner for Merrill, 3-pointer, and he rattles it in.
And the luxury of having a superstar like Spida. You talk about somebody that draws 2. That's the whole goal in the NBA, is to draw 2 and make the defense be at a disadvantage. And that's when you get open catch and shoot 3s.
Kel'el Ware, rookie starter, misses on his first 3. 9 straight points for the Cavaliers. Cavs hit more 3s per game than any team in the postseason, better than 18 per. Mitchell, the leader, offensive rebound. Allen drops, stepping and lays it in. Just masterful with his feet, and an early timeout taken by Eric Spoelstra.
You talk about Allen leading the league in field goal percentage. A lot of it has to do with this little nice crab dribble to put the Cavs up 13-3.
Don't forget to download the FanDuel Sports app. It's the best place for all your live betting and same-game parlays. And it pays out what, Chuck?
Instantly.
Yes, it does. Do the Cavs close out the Heat tonight?
That'd be a yes.
Oh, I believe so, too.
All right, Kenny and Chuck defiant in their prediction. And so far, that thing is looking good. 10 straight points. Andrew Wiggins into the paint. Candace, can he get his offensive game going? Into the corner. Hero. And Tyler Hero now, one of his first three from deep.
And the Heat getting two great looks on goal, but you see the shot clock was winding down. Only 1 second on the shot clock when they took that.
Good defensive rotations for the Heat. Ball finds its way to Mitchell, crosses over Hero, fires, and splash. Make it 13 straight for the Cavs. 8 for Mitchell. Cleveland has hit 6 of its first 9 from the field.
You talk about somebody hot. Mitchell shooting 44% from downtown. It's a nice cut and nice dime by Adebayo, but you talk about just the pressure that Donovan Mitchell puts on your point of attack, where sometimes he's drawing 2. You see that 3 Heat jerseys around Donovan Mitchell. It just makes things a lot easier for the others to do what they do.
Officials, by the way, changed this Donovan Mitchell 3 to a 2 earlier. You see his toe right on that 3-point line. It's about the only thing that hasn't gone right for Cleveland so far. Cavaliers are only the 4th team in the last 40 years to score at least 120 points in the first 3 games of a 7-game series. That's how high level they've been. Former Heat Max Strus blocked at the rim. Deep 3, Hero. Interesting shot, plenty of time on the clock. Highsmith, corner 3. And Miami just can't shoot straight at the start. They're 1 of 5 from 3 and 2 of 8 from the field. Donovan Mitchell in the corner. Davion Mitchell, best perimeter defender for Eric Spoelstra. 6 to shoot. Look at that. Open floor. Just vicious.
And that's your 7-foot player blowing by your perimeter defender with the Heat for the slam.
Candace, how about this start for Cleveland? Business-like. They are playing like a 1 seed so far. Wiggins steps back. You know, you learn so much about a team in this kind of a situation. Do they put their foot on the throat of their opponent? Or do you allow Miami to build some confidence? And boy, what a start.
You see this right here. You see that little jab step. But him being a threat from beyond the arc has opened up more drives as Allen hangs out in that dunker spot and just puts the help side defense in a bind.
And this is what we've seen from Cleveland. Their first quarter play in this series has been sensational.
Well, you talk about Cleveland outscoring Miami by 13 in the first quarter in Game 3, and that really sets the tone. Game 1, same thing. It was a little bit closer in Game 2, only a 1-point advantage for Cleveland, but they've won all of their first quarters, which gets them out to a great start and allows Hunter and Jerome to come in and extend the lead.
DeAndre Hunter wasting no time, picks up where he left off the other night as Mitchell and Mobley get a breather. Hunter, magnificent in Game 3, 21 points as Davion Mitchell misses from that high post area. Ty Jerome, who's been off the charts in this series, introducing himself to the NBA fans around the country who haven't seen much of this Cleveland team this season. Rare transition opportunity.
And that right there has got to be a score on a 3-on-1, essentially, fast break. The Heat have to look for opportunities to score early in the offense where they have the advantage. And there's closeouts where you can get the ball moving and get people in great position.
And this is where this Heat team has changed since the Jimmy Butler trade. Obviously, everyone played off of Butler. Now Tyler Hero has become the focal point, even more focus on Bam Adebayo, who, by the way, still hasn't taken a shot in this game. We asked Eric Spoelstra about it, and he said, look, we can do some tactical things, but it's just going to be hard for Bam. They have committed their defense, packing the post to make these other guys try to beat them.
And a lot of it has to, as you see, the Godfather, Pat Riley, looking on. A lot of pressure has been put on Bam and Tyler Hero to play different roles this year. We've seen them play off of Jimmy, but now the ball's in their hands. And with the physicality of a Cleveland defense, there's a lot of up-to-touch switches. And so they're not playing off of closeouts. They're not playing with the focal point being elsewhere. And it's taken some adjustments, but they've done just that.
Ty Jerome stepped out of bounds, telling Kenny Atkinson to think about challenging here. But probably a little premature. Even with this big lead, 5:40 to play, first quarter, just past the midway point.
But I'll tell you who has to be aggressive.
Beautiful little backdoor cut, Pelle Larsson.
Yes, Larsson, that cutting has really been effective against the Cavs defense. Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins has got to do a great job of putting pressure on the defense in that mid-post as Jerome has his way on that nice floater. But I think he could be unlocked in the mid-post, and he's got to be aggressive.
Can they stop this Cleveland defense? So lethal, so interchangeable as Hero misses on a three. They needed a monster game from Hero. He hit his first three, but he has cooled off since. Now 1 of 5 to start. High pass. Hunter and Hero. Nice effort by Hunter to get that possession back.
You look right here. Wiggins doing a great job. So used to the cutting offense, playing in Golden State all those years. I think that's where you can be dynamic, is the cutting off ball, but the Heat have to find ways to get the ball into the paint, whether it's driving, whether it's throwing it into the post up, just to get the Cavs defense to collapse a little bit.
Dean Wade, who gave Cleveland really good minutes in game 3. Just again, the depth of this Cavaliers team, incredible. Mitchell, three-pointer short. Take your pick here. This Ty Jerome obviously has been incredible in the series. Even Dean Wade giving him some minutes. Very few weak links. Wiggins desperately need him to give him some points tonight. Not that time. And Wiggins has missed his first 3. That's Wade sneaking in behind the defense.
And we've seen some depth in this playoffs. We just finished covering OKC versus Memphis. We saw the depth in the OKC guards as Allen gets another steal. But when you talk about Cavs and their switchability, their physicality, Wade's coming in 6'7", 6'8". Allen doing a great job. Jerome right here giving it off to Spida. Wade finishing. I mean, that's a lot of size coming at you in transition.
First time as the 1 seed for Cleveland since they won the NBA championship in that 15-16 season. They've won 60 games for only the 3rd time in their franchise history. The NBA on TNT is brought to you by the Kia Telluride X-Line. Kia, official automotive partner of the NBA. #1 in the league in scoring this season. In Kansas, they had the 2nd highest offensive rating as a team since they started tracking that statistic.
Well, it's a bummer for the Heat because the Heat are shooting well in the series. If you look at the numbers, they're shooting 40% from beyond the arc. It's just they're getting destroyed in the paint by a Cavs team that has been top of the league in both 2-point field goal and 3-point field goal percentage.
Corner three-pointer from Highsmith won't go. You saw the president of Cleveland there, Kobe Altman. And give him all kinds of credit, him and his staff, his GM Mike Yancey, the roster that they put together. And Candace, we mentioned this, we did game 1 of this series, the midseason trade that they pulled off to bring in DeAndre Hunter for a team that was already at the top of the standings in the East. You talk about a gutsy maneuver. They felt like it made them better. He gave them another wing defender. And boy, what a decision, what a move that has proven to be.
Well, if you look at what Ty Jerome did, he gave them the confidence to be able to go and do that. They traded Niang as well as Karis LeVert, which were their scoring coming off the bench. And you look at what Ty Jerome was able to do, and I'm sure that gave the front office the confidence to be able to go out and make a move to get a switchable 3-and-D guy that could come in and guard different positions and knock down the three.
Let's check in with Dennis.
Well, guys, you got to give Kobe Altman a lot of love because he didn't rest on his laurels. He had the best record in the NBA. You go out and get DeAndre Hunter. He sits down with Kenny Atkinson when he takes over and says, hey, how do we get Donovan Mitchell? What an alley-oop pass to Jared Allen. My goodness, Spiro.
Eric Spoelstra quickly signaling for time as this one is getting away from the Heat already. Cavaliers throwing punches here in Miami.
The Miami Heat here in Game 4. And the question is, are the Cavaliers ready to graduate? Talking to Kobe Altman before this game, Candace and Spiro, he's done all the right things, checked all the boxes, gets to trade, get DeAndre Hunter, gets Donovan Mitchell to say less is more. Can the small backcourt work out together? Well, guys, I think they have. So the question to you, Candace, now through back to the panel, can this team get to the finals and win the whole thing?
Well, 3D, the question has been, can they do it in the playoffs the way they operated in the regular season? And so far, the numbers are adding up. And it's not just from a historic effective field goal rate as they get yet another stop on the defensive end.
Officials are going to have a conversation here to determine who touched it last.
Yeah, the ball definitely hit the rim on that play. But to get back to 3D's question, they've done it. They're the second most efficient offense in NBA history. Not this season, not in the NBA, in NBA history.
Did the ball hit the rim? Didn't look like it hit it there. It just kind of changes its trajectory a little bit. Yeah, you'll see teams, some teams are great three-point shooting teams, kind of middle of the pack from two. This team scores at every level, at the highest level.
And they hang their hat on the other end, on the defensive end. And as a result, they went out and got the recipe to success in having the switchability from the perimeter. You got Mobley that pairs up and steps out and defends at half court.
It has been
against
determined
guards.
that the ball hits the rim, and therefore the whistle is inadvertent. At the time of the whistle, imminent possession was Miami. They will retain possession with 14 on the shot clock.
All right, James Williams, our crew chief, makes the announcement. And oh, by the way, then you pair all that to what they do defensively. And that has continued, Candace, here tonight in Game 4. They've held the Heat to one field goal in nearly 6 minutes. And oh, by the way, Bam has taken a grand total of 1 shot so far. Just crazy.
And that's what the Cavs defense is trying to do. They're trying to make things tough for Bam because he is their inside presence that can score and allow others to get it going beyond the arc.
Another turnover, then Kyle Anderson knocks it loose. Mitchell off a broken play, and it is all working for Cleveland, where they are toying with the Heat. Fresh off that 37-point win in Game 3. Miami taking it on the chin again. Anderson short. Mitchell pulls up. Boy, probably not sure how long he'll play tonight. So he said, let me get mine early. Holy smokes, 15 straight for Cleveland.
And Mitchell coming off a 13-point performance in Game 3. He's now got just that many in just this first quarter.
Mitchell has 13 points, his third 3 of the quarter. Cleveland shooting it at a 65% clip. They're 5 of 8 from 3.
And Coach Spoelstra going with Kyle Anderson early to help relieve some of the pressure for his guards, bringing the ball up the floor.
Miami Heat, if you've just hopped on with us, they've made 3 baskets in the quarter. They've committed 6 turnovers. Nice little cut inside. Boy, Larson, about the only thing working right now for the Heat. His second field goal.
And 3 of those baskets came off of cuts. Came off of back cuts from the guards. They're going to have to continue to do that.
And the Cavs ain't done yet. Hunter lights the lamp.
And this quarter, we do agree 3 is more than 2 as the Cavs are up 28 points.
DeAndre Hunter, career season in terms of scoring and three-point shooting. Davion Mitchell. Guy who's been a really nice fit for Eric Spoelstra. Into the corner, Wade. And finally someone missed.
Bam's got to be aggressive on this play.
What a matchup against Mobley. Hunter sagging down to help. That's a tough defensive tandem to go against if you're Adebayo. Here comes Mitchell. Larson catch and shoot. And Miami is 1 of 11 from deep. Hard to win many playoff games shooting at that kind of clip from deep. As Miami had one to give. And a side out of bounds for Cleveland. And everything that's on the mind of Eric Spoelstra, one of the all-time best playoff win percentages in NBA history. Just think of all the masterful coaching jobs in his career. But they are up against this incredible Cleveland team that is just stacked. There comes Hunter on the attack, and he's headed to the free throw line.
Greg Anthony was talking last game in Game 3 about the ability for Cavs players to win their matchups, and what a luxury it is to have so many versatile players that open it up from beyond the arc, but can get into the paint and score off of drives.
Hunter, after that deal, played 27 games with Cleveland. He averaged about 14 points. He shot it from 3 at a 42% clip. If he gives them anything close to those numbers, man, this is going to be a tough Cleveland team to beat in a 7-game series.
And here's the problem. As Bam makes a great play, nice and one. Here's the issues and the difficulty for Bam Adebayo with this Cleveland Cavs defense. They play high side. He was able to get middle on that play, but they play high side and they force you into Evan Mobley. They force you into Jarrett Allen. And then they bring that third side help defender. So the only person that's open is that weak side corner, and they're able to close out. So they've made things difficult for Bam in this series just by being able to guard him with so much size and length.
That's the thing about Cleveland. This isn't just a bunch of athletes running around blocking shots. The structure of the defense, the strategy, the tactics, just so sound with this coaching staff. As we get a whistle here, looks like against Miami. Penalty situation, so free throws for Cleveland with 3.5 seconds left in the quarter. And it will be DeAndre Hunter to the line for 2. Don't miss a playoff moment with the NBA app. Get the latest scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes access to all the drama. Download the NBA app today, powered by Microsoft.
And the Heat going to their patented zone on that possession. They did everything right except for snag the rebound.
Last time Miami has been swept in a playoff series, you have to go back to 2021 against Milwaukee. So in their championship run, of course, Miami was on the flip side of a crazy series. That 2023 Eastern Conference Finals. Remember, as the 8 seed, they jumped out to the 3-0 lead against the Celtics. Boston came back, forced the Game 7 that the Heat won on the road. As Mitchell hits, and it will count. Heat hoping that can't light a fire under this team.
And Mitchell right here knocks down the 3, gives the Heat a little hope. First round coverage on TNT is presented by NerdWallet.
Take a look at tonight's Cinco Stat of the Night presented by Corona. Touched on it earlier. Cleveland, only the 4th team in the last 40 years to score 120 or more points first 3 games of a series, and that has continued into this one tonight. They shoot at a 63% clip from the field in the first quarter. A couple of seconds ago, DeAndre Hunter with Dennis.
All right, DeAndre, talk us about the focus on the day off, why you guys have come out like this to start this ball game.
Closeout games are toughest. That's what Kenny told us. So we just got to come out here and battle. You know, they're going to throw punches, but we got to respond.
With that being said, how do you keep that up for the rest of the game to stay focused knowing you have this big lead?
We try and advance, you know. We can't take no breaks, can't take no rest. Every quarter matters, and we just got to get the win.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Dennis, great stuff. As DeAndre Hunter and this Cleveland defense, Candace, limit the Heat to their fewest points in a first quarter all season. And right now have a 43-17 lead as we play early in the second.
Well, on the other side, their offense is flowing. 23rd 40-point game this season. You talk about using your offense to impact your defense and vice versa. I mean, now Miami Heat elected to go a little zone to try to slow down the fluidity of this Cavs offense.
Well, Jovic got a fingertip on it on the three from Strus, and then it's last touched out of bounds by Miami with 1.2 seconds to shoot.
And what this zone does by Miami is take the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands. He's not running as many pick and rolls as we've seen. The Cavs are extremely successful in pick and rolls, and so it's allowing other people, as Donovan Mitchell misses the three, it's causing other people to have to operate and serve as playmakers.
Nikola Jovic inserted. Eric Spoelstra looking for any kind of a mix of players. Andrew Wiggins over his first four. Turn back Mobley. That towering interior presence. The NBA's newly minted Defensive Player of the Year. Boy, exquisite pass. Hunter to Mobley. And it is all Cleveland.
This is like a cone drill. You talk about just penetration to the paint, hang out in the dunker spot, and get a dunk. That was just great execution by the Cavs as Miami had to go back to man-to-man because they were in transition defense.
Where you're just seeing a Heat team that is just being outmatched, outclassed. Mobley thought he was fouled, and now they will put him at the free throw line. James Williams, that's about his latest whistle, as you'll see. But appeared to be clear contact.
Talk about right here, Andrew Wiggins. Look at that length around the perimeter. Wade doing a great job not fouling. And then Hunter. We've seen him knock down the three. He dribbles right into the paint, into the teeth of the Miami Heat defense, and reward the big in the dunker spot.
So Mobley, 73% free throw shooter, hits on the first. The NBA on TNT is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Evan Mobley, 23 years of age. Crazy to think how young, Candace, he still is. First ever Cleveland Cavalier to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. First time All-Star. And the improvement in his offense, now legit offensive force. The teams can't just double Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland anymore. As we get another Miami turnover, just adds a layer of pressure on opposing teams.
And when we talked to Kenny Atkinson, he said the first conversation he had with Donovan Mitchell, he didn't even have to say it. Donovan Mitchell said, we have to unlock Evan Mobley. And they did just that in the regular season. And because of that, they're better on the defensive end, and they're more of a threat on the offensive end as well.
What a season he had. Better than 18.5 points. As Hunter misses a perimeter jumper. Shot it at nearly 56% from the field. As Jovic fires from deep, short rebound Wade. And Miami is now 2 of 15 from deep. They just cannot get anything going. Bam Adebayo, Candace, 1 of 2 points. Andrew Wiggins is 0 for 5 scoreless. And Tyler Hero is 1 for 5 and has just 4 points.
And turnovers remain a problem. As a result, they're not able to get into the paint, so they're playing loaded up Cavs defense, which is why they have 8 turnovers early in this half and 12 points off of those turnovers the Cavs had capitalized on.
Miami looking to push. Adebayo outside Mitchell, catch and shoot 3, back iron, rebound by Strus. Made a name for himself here during his 3-year stint with the Heat. Mobley tapped out by Strus, kept alive to Mobley. Donovan Mitchell takes a little peek up at the shot clock, changed his mind into the corner of Merrill. And the Cavs come up empty. Larson, beautiful feed as he gets it underneath to Jovic.
And that's what the Heat have to do. Rebound, outlet, and run, because it is a challenge to play against the Cavs defense when it's set. And again, Mobley walks into a three. Has become a real threat from beyond the arc. The Cavs, the luxury, they have 8 players that shoot over the league average of 36% from 3. And Mobley takes note on that play.
Including Mobley, shot it better than 37% incredibly this season from deep.
Look at that closeout right there. Look at that closeout right there.
That's high-level defense from Dean Wade. Unbelievable, playing with a 30-point lead. And they're playing defense like they're down 30. Nice defensive play, recovery by Adebayo. Here comes Jovic, careening to the rim, and he's going to get himself to the free throw line.
And Cavs right here. Talk about Wade closing out. This is a scramble right here. Mitchell hits the corner, and then bam, that closeout by a 6'7" Dean Wade is what is going to be shown tomorrow in film, because putting the Cavs in a scramble, having guys that give extra effort, the length that they play with, just makes them a contender for the championship.
Little break in the action gives us a chance to take a little peek at the upcoming national playoff schedule. Busy night tomorrow night. 2 games on NBA TV. Bucks, Indiana. Pacers will try to end that thing. And Orlando, Boston. Game 5's there. TNT will have Detroit and the Knicks. High intensity, high emotions in that series. And Clippers, Denver. Unforgettable finish to Game 4 in that series in LA the other night. NBA.com, or visit the NBA app for the complete playoff schedule. So 49-21 Cleveland. Strus stripped underneath by Anderson. Hero the bounce. Mitchell couldn't finish. Now Jerome quickly the other way. Strus the bobble, so they're going to reset here as we cross the 8-minute mark before halftime. Cleveland Cavaliers, they've cooled off a little bit, still shooting it at a 52% clip. Strus finally gets one.
And all orchestrated by the cutting and moving of Strus off the ball. Flips it back, got a little flare screen. A nice catch and shoot 3.
Cavs now 8 of 17 from 3. Highsmith from deep, no. Candace, it's tiring just watching Strus play off ball. My goodness, this never stops. Wade! And Eric Spoelstra wants another timeout. Still searching for answers. 55-21 Cleveland. He is presented by NerdWallet. Beautiful night downtown Miami. It has not been beautiful if you're a fan of the Heat right now. They are getting blown out and bludgeoned here in Game 4. What three-point shooting. Dennis, making even you proud.
Well, Candace, dreams do come true. As I was going for my walk today in South Beach, I said, weather God, please don't let it rain until the game starts tonight. And the Cavaliers are making it rain in South Beach. Shooter's paradise, the ball movement, sharing is caring. And you know I love a good three-point shot, Candace.
Well, they saw the nice, handsome fellas in the lavender suit in the building, and they knew they had to give 3D a show.
Thank you, darling.
The lavender does make his eyes pop, doesn't it?
I'm telling you.
Sweet-looking jacket. Here's Jovic playing off the corner against Jerome. Shot clock at 6, falls away. And the rebound corralled underneath by Jared Allen. Speaking of that three-point shooting for Cleveland, 6 different Cavs have hit a 3 in this first half already. Just an incredible number. And keep in mind, they're playing without Darius Garland in Kansas for a second straight game. Looks like we're going to get a traveling violation here against Merrill.
And it looked like Merrill was complaining, thought he got hit in the face as he pivoted. But the Cavs have been led by Donovan Mitchell Look, he has 13 points. Jared Allen set the tone with 10, but it's just 9 of 18 from beyond the arc. Their biggest lead on the night, 18 points in the paint, fast break 12. I mean, they are dominating in every major category, as well as the intangibles that you can't see.
Jovic catch and shoot. Long 2 rebound Allen. Miami is shooting 25% as they play in a 34-point hole here in game 4. Jerome, a couple of hard jab steps, taking Jovic down to the box. 6 to shoot. Strus deep in the corner. Top contested 3. And it's last touched by Miami.
And the extra effort yet again. Wade Allen, who set the tone, is perfect. Almost a double-double here in that first half. Just relentless on the offensive glass.
So Hunter back in for Kenny Atkinson. Cleveland has to fire quickly, my goodness. They foul Jerome with less than a second on the shot clock. Davion Mitchell, who's been tremendous with his defense. Just a little bit too much aggression there. And Ty Jerome's going to get 3 free throws. And that has been the kind of night it has been so far for Miami. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every playoff moment more on America's #1 sportsbook. Ty Jerome, one of the first names that Eric Spoelstra mentioned. Of course, everyone talks about Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, but he said this guy, Candace, is the X factor. Ty Jerome, if he's having nights like he's had in this series, this is a really difficult Cleveland team to contend with.
Well, Kenny Atkinson, at the end of games, can end his lineup with so many different finishers. With Hunter getting some of those crunch time minutes, Jerome, I mean, we're not going to probably see those crunch time minutes in this game, but what a luxury to have the defensive lineup, the offensive lineup. I mean, you can just play in so many different ways.
Finalist for the 6th Man of the Year award, finished 3rd in the final vote. Hunter, just silky smooth with that turnaround J. And look at that score, 39-point differential. Here comes Strus on the attack. A little bit of contact underneath. Davion Mitchell pushing up to Jovic to the rack and gets the friendly bounce.
And Jovic has done a great job of trying to get out in transition and pick up the pace.
So the Miami Heat, a couple of days after suffering their worst ever playoff defeat, 37-point differential in game 3. This thing has not gotten any better so far here tonight.
And has Allen made one mistake on the evening? Has he made one mistake? He's cleaned up misses. He's gotten extra possessions on that play. He's done things that have shown up in the stat sheet, 10 and 9. He's made free throws. He's perfect from the field. He's got 4 steals. He set the tone from the very first possession, getting the breakaway dunk off a steal.
It's just been sensational, overshadowed by all the other players on this team, but one of the heart and soul pieces for Kenny Atkinson. Narrow, high arching 3. And it's a rare miss from deep.
Again, once again, Allen with the back tap.
Hunter left open and hits. Extra possession by Allen. And Cleveland just will not stop. Miami getting bludgeoned here in game 4.
Right here, Allen with the back tap. Merrill knows where to go with it. Jerome, he hits his little Virginia teammate for the 3. Hunter and Jerome are bringing the noise off the bench to put Cleveland up 40.
You set the tone, J.A. All you. Everything, both ends. Screening, rebounding.
I think everybody in this building understands Jared Allen set the tone from the first tip of the ball. Got 5 threes. He's cleaned up the rebounding, and he's hung out in the dunker spot. Been the beneficiary of a lot of nice drop-off passes. 3 of 3. He's got 10 and 9, almost a double-double here midway through the second quarter.
You and Kenny on the same wavelength. He was thinking the exact same thing, how good Jared Allen has been the last couple of minutes. And really right from the start, Larson gets it to Jovic at the fire. Shot clock winding down. And once again, the Heat come up empty.
Once again, into shot clock heave. That's been the story of the series. Cavs getting in a stance. Ball really isn't going north and south. The ball's going east-west, which is difficult within an offense. You need it to at least get near the paint to be able to cause some mismatches.
Ty Jerome, it is target practice for the Cavaliers. They have more threes, 11, than Miami has field goals, 9. Davion Mitchell misfires, and this thing has gotten ugly quickly. Final 3 minutes of the half. So you got that halftime intermission. If you're exposed, you just wonder from a psychological standpoint, can they put something together in the second half? What has transpired, Candace, in the last game plus? I mean, this has been unbelievable to watch. A Heat team that, you just think of the 10-game losing streak that they had that started in early March. Nice little floater for Bam. Then they came back from that. Andrew Wiggins seemed to be settling in. They got through the play-in tournament, battle tested, all of that stuff. But man, they have run into a juggernaut.
Well, the Heat culture doesn't quit. They don't make excuses. They didn't when they went on that 10-game losing streak. They were able to fight their way in as Allen cleans up the miss for his 10th rebound, already a double-double. But sometimes you expend so much energy to get into the playoffs, which is what the Heat did. I mean, they're the first 10 seed to make the playoffs through the play-in, and it's just too much to require your team to play that level of basketball for that long.
Boy, Mobley almost got that thing to drop. But you're right, the mental exhaustion of the last 2-3 weeks, probably even further back than that, maybe even 5 weeks, in what has been a meat grinder for the Heat just to get to this point. A crazy play-in win on the road in Atlanta last Friday night. But this has been all about the Cleveland Cavaliers, make no mistake. As Mobley makes this a 69-25 differential. Baseball season is in full swing. Next Tuesday, 2 teams with championship aspirations will do battle. Padres and the Yankees at 6:30 Eastern, TBS, and stream on Max. Great to have you with us downtown Miami. Spiro Ditas, Candace Parker, Dennis Scott working the sidelines for us. Bert Bondi, our producer, and Brent Christan, our director. Rest of our terrific TNT crew. Now, don't adjust your television sets. That score is real, 70-25, as we play inside of the 2-minute mark left in the first half. Adebayo still doesn't have room to maneuver in the paint. Look at him, 2 defenders around him every time he touches it. Challenged, contested shot over Mobley. Hero. Loose ball, Jovic. Down to 90 seconds. Jovic will hoist and hit.
And Jovic hanging out in that corner. Against this Cavs defense, you cannot pass up a good look or an open look. On that possession, there were a couple dribble penetration kickouts, and you just have to take those shots.
DeAndre Hunter into the lane against Larson, and Hunter showing his entire arsenal. 18 in 14 minutes off the bench. Bam Adebayo is 2 of 5 shooting. Out to Jovic, open 3, and that's good. Miami has gotten more points from their bench than their starting 5 so far. Jerome. Why not? Everything else working for this team tonight. Adebayo ahead of the field to Hero. Knifes inside. Swallowed up.
Towers. As Bam cleans it up, but The penetration and transition, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, good luck scoring over that.
Tyler Hero flailing his arms at official Kevin Scott. Fortunately, he hasn't been teed up yet. Jared Allen, by the way, double-double already, messing around with a triple-double. 12, 11, and 6 steals for Jared Allen. 1 second. Donovan Mitchell stepped out of bounds on the sideline. Right now, Tyler Hero, all kinds of frustrated. 1 of 8 Candace. He's 1 of 7 from 3. Inbound Davion Mitchell.
Already hit one.
So Miami ties its lowest scoring half of a season, any half. And the 3rd largest point differential in the first half in Cleveland's franchise history. They have been brilliant. Every facet, all Cavs here in Game 4 trying to turn out the lights on the Heat. First round coverage on TNT presented by NerdWallet. NBA playoffs are presented by Google. Beautiful Miami night, downtown part of the city. And look at that score, 72-33. It has been as lopsided as you could imagine, with the Cleveland Cavaliers 2 quarters away from ending Miami's season in a 4-game sweep. As we say hello again, courtside here in Miami, Spiro and Candace. We'll hear from Dennis in just a little bit. Boy, it feels like a funeral with the way this thing is going so far, as Miami just tries to make it semi-interesting. How do they do it in the second half?
Well, try to get the Cavs out of fluidity on the offensive end. I mean, them being able to knock down at a clip 45% from 3, 52% total field goal has allowed them to then come back and set their defense. You know, I think that this has got to be a thing about pride at this moment right here. You talk about Miami Heat culture. I think the fans in the city of Miami want to see it regardless of the outcome here in this second half.
Last time Cleveland swept a playoff series 7 years ago, 2018, against the Toronto Raptors. First couple of minutes of the half instrumental if they're going to make this interesting.
And that's not a great start.
No.
You got Donovan Mitchell. We understand first team, probably all NBA, going straight down the lane for a nice easy floater to start.
And Nikola Jovic hits his 3rd 3 of the night. One of the very few sources of offense tonight for the Heat. Donovan Mitchell misfires. Miami Heat team that won 37 games this season. Ended the regular season as the 10 seed as Andrew Wiggins, Candace, gets his first basket of the night. And that's been a part of the story here the last couple of games for the Heat. Just can't get Wiggins going. Let's check in with Dennis.
Well, Candace, you'll love this. I said, Spider, what's going on? We're locked in. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Don't give the Heat any life. Let's get to the next round. I love the focus, Spiro, what this team is doing, and Donovan Mitchell being their leader.
And Dennis, we started the playoffs as Mobley turns the corner. Here he comes. Long strides. My goodness, no one home defensively for the Heat. But we started this postseason talking about the 2 top seeds, East and West, both having something to prove. We saw Oklahoma City sweep Memphis. And boy, it seems as though that's going to be the case for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as both of these young, rising teams trying to take that next step.
And I think the thing I've been so impressed as Donovan Mitchell jogs back down the court is, you know, these playoffs in this first round are playing out similar to how it was in the regular season. Donovan Mitchell is accustomed to being on a team where he's had to do it all, where he's been able to do it all. And when you have the superpower of being able to do it, you think you have to do it night in and night out. Well, he's taking a step back. He's lowest average, 24 points per game since his rookie year. Lowest shot attempts as Merrill knocks down the 3. But he's still capable of putting up those type of numbers. And it's the excitement that Donovan's playing with. And because of that, he's unlocked Mobley. Just all Cavs early in this third quarter.
Presented by NerdWallet. Gridlock traffic, short little drive from South Beach, downtown Miami. Donovan Mitchell, boy, how'd you like to be on this list? Players with 500 playoff points in their first 20 games in the postseason with multiple teams.
We're reaching. We are reaching with these graphics. Goodness.
We got a lot of second half left.
Okay.
Our crack stat team digging deep.
Great job, guys.
Boy, we appreciate it.
Great job.
Keon Grissom, rest of our crew, getting us all these numbers during the NBA playoffs. Nikola Jovic puts it on the deck. Hero.
And the big three for Miami going cold. 5 of 24 for Wiggins, Adebayo, and Tyler Hero.
Donovan Mitchell probing. Here he comes. Boy, it's a scary sight. Taking flight as he comes right down Broadway.
Yeah, it's a scary sight right there. It might be not as tall as the trees underneath the basket, but you talk about delivering the first blow. That is a body that is meant to be a slasher. We saw the finishing ability of Spida in that first game 1, 9 of 10. Just acrobatic.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Scott's. Feed your lawn, feed it. Spiro Ditas, Candace Parker, Dennis Scott, rest of our TNT crew. Donovan Mitchell now 28 years of age, 8th season. Candace is in the playoffs. Once again, each of his first 8 years in the league, he's never made it past the second round. So much talk about that. Some of the shortcomings, those teams in Utah. But it just feels like it's a career-defining moment in Mitchell's career. Best supporting cast he's ever had around him. And the only question left is how far this Cavaliers team can go. Mitchell contacts, little body bump from Bam. And a side out of bounds for the Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell looks perplexed, thought that he was going to be shooting free throws. Here comes Mobley. And out of bounds, last touch by the Heat.
And that will not show up on the stat sheet. And in a game like this, you think it doesn't matter, but Jared Allen getting his team yet another possession based off of his activity.
Romero had a little bit more time. He had 8 seconds on the shot clock. Head of the field, Wiggins, corner 3, that's good. .43-point game. Mitchell, no look underneath to Mobley.
And right there, unlocking Mobley from that dunker spot. Mitchell just splitting the defense. The tail of two teams right there on the pick and roll. Mitchell finding Mobley with a nice dime. Jovic overthrows Bam Adebayo. They just cannot get Bam going towards the basket off of short rolls. Just the activity and the length of the Cavs.
Look at Mitchell. My goodness. Just mesmerizing with his footwork. And he's got 19 for the Cavs. Andrew Wiggins maybe a little bit too little too late. Did not hit a field goal in the first half until late in that second quarter. Just think of what his role changed, Candace, after the Jimmy Butler trade that brought him here.
Did you see that?
Jared Allen.
Did you see that? Mitchell demands 2 on the ball, gets off the ball quick, and then you have your center in Jared Allen that's taking the middle of the defense one-on-one down the paint. I mean, it's just a luxury to have scoring ability as Bam gets to that nice turnaround jump shot that we're accustomed to seeing, but it's just the operation from different positions, the activity, and the versatility of this Cavs offense.
Mitchell. Have to wonder how much longer he'll play.
Not
Obviously,
much.
he had the ankle injury, missed the last 5 games of the regular season.
Not much, I'll tell you. Spoiler alert.
There's a ton of time left, but can't imagine he's going to be on the floor much longer. Adebayo on a straightaway 3.
And Bam's shot looks so nice from out there. He's got to continue to take that and build confidence from beyond the arc. That just will unlock another part of his game.
Mobley steps back and rattles it in. An offensive performance that has been nearly flawless by the Cavaliers.
Well, we talk about 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Cavs are Miami's 2 steps forward, and the Cavs are like, let's take 3 steps forward. Goodness.
Well, Miami's shooting it a little better in the 3rd quarter. They just can't get any stops. 96-51 in what has been a one-sided fight here in Miami.
This is a guard's world, we understand that, but it's nothing without the versatile bigs right here. Mobley on display, his versatility, putting the ball on the floor. And yes, Defensive Player of the Year, has 2 block shots, but has altered many more. And then again, down the teeth of the defense, 17 points, 7 rebounds, stepping out from beyond the arc has helped add to the Cleveland Cavaliers' hot shooting. They are shooting 56% from the field, 50% from 3, and 93.8% from the free throw line. You talk about a perfect game.
I know you get very excited when you see those front court players playing at this kind of level. My goodness, what a performance by the Cleveland Cavaliers. And look, Candace, I don't think there's anyone surprised that Cleveland is ahead. Certainly no one expected it to happen this way. This is such a proud Miami team. Mention everything they've been through, the craziness of their season, the Jimmy Butler trade as Wiggins misses on a 3. You expected them to show some fight tonight after the worst playoff loss in their franchise history in Game 3. I don't think anyone expected this. It was Jerome, soft little touch.
And the thing about it was, closeout games are the hardest games usually, but you have to impose your will and set the tone. And Jared Allen, from the first possession, he was the quarterback on defense. He has 6 steals on the day. And then when you have Cavs offense that is fluid, flowing in open court off of your defense, it's just almost impossible to guard with the amount of weapons they have.
Andrew Wiggins, who's had a really tough time in this series, has 12 points. Good movement. They find Hunter, 3-pointer short, and Jovic on the push. Here he comes, the Serbian national, and he's going to get himself to the free throw line. Ty Jerome asking Kenny Atkinson to look at the replay, and Kenny's going to oblige.
Can we get another meme, Kenny Atkinson?
Even Kenny's got a little smirk on his face. Coach's challenge in Miami as we come down the stretch of the 3rd quarter on TNT. Atkinson challenging the call on the floor, which was a reach and foul against Ty Jerome.
After review, it has been determined that the defender makes legal contact with the ball, knocking it loose. The ruling on the floor of a defensive foul has been overturned to a no call. When the whistle blew, imminent possession was Bam Adebayo of Miami. They will maintain possession with 20 on the shot clock, sideline throw in. Cleveland's challenge is successful. They have 1 challenge remaining, and they keep their timeout.
You talk about being competitive. Up 45, and Ty Jerome looks to the bench. Kenny Atkinson challenges it. You can't turn it off. And that's what this team has done. They have competed regardless of the score, and this is a coach's dream right here. Up 45, still hustling back in transition and wanting the ball.
Well, we know how coaches think. There's a lot of time left. As one-sided a game as this has been, 4:27, Kenny Atkinson and his staff, which have Done such a masterful job. Still working hard on that Cleveland bench. The respect that Atkinson has for Spoelstra and what this Heat organization has stood for over the years. 17th year for Eric Spoelstra as the head coach. The ball nearly caromed into the basket. Here comes Jerome as we hit the 4-minute mark. Jerome, young man who is no stranger to confidence. Got a chip on his shoulder the way he plays. Just tremendous collegiate career, part of that national championship team at Virginia.
But also, Sparrow, people forget, a part of the team that lost in the first round. So, yes, he doesn't lack confidence, but he also, it came with adversity. And him and Hunter being able to rise again from that, I mean, that's got to take a tremendous amount of character and effort and energy and putting the time in to be able to recover from something like that.
Just think of how his Cleveland run started. Remember, he signed that multi-year deal prior to last year. Then the ankle injury just 2 games into the season last year. Sat, missed the rest of the year after surgery. Bam Adebayo works quickly. One of the few times we've seen him kind of cap some space, Candace, in the paint. Jerome finds an opening. Splash! Candace, this has felt like a pickup game tonight with how one-sided this has been. 103-55 as Ty Jerome buries another 3 off the bench. As we take a look at our FanDuel Live point spread for tonight's game. One of the few off nights for Vegas. My goodness. Pat Riley still in his usual seat here, just to our right off the floor. He has been stoic, stone-faced all night as Larson will have a chance at a 3-point play. Just think of how many times Pat Riley, Candace, has retooled this roster. All the stars that have come and gone here. Where does this franchise go this summer?
And they have the core. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, that's who you build around. And now they'll have time to do that in the offseason. Obviously, Jimmy Butler trade was not planned, but now they'll have time to regroup and figure out what pieces fit best around those two.
Earn badges to win prizes with the NBA ID Playoffs Challenge. Members in the U.S. and Canada who complete the challenge get the chance at a trip to the NBA Draft. Play now in the NBA app or at NBA.com/ID. One of the most lopsided scores you'll see in an NBA playoff game. 103-57. Isaac Okoro is going to get into the mix here for the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell's night likely over. 8 of 15, 22 points. Candace, nice bounce back game for Mitchell after a rare subpar outing for him in game 3. As this team continues to check every single box and pass every single test. 14th Miami turnover. Cleveland Cavaliers team that began the season with 15 straight wins. It was one of 3 winning streaks that they had this year of 12 or more games. DeAndre Hunter is going to be called for an offensive foul. Hunter playing with some force.
Right here, physicality. Hunter means in Larson taking the tough end of that battle.
So we're inside of 3 minutes left in the quarter. Jovic defended by Okoro. Okoro's barely played in this series, just to tell you how deep this Cleveland team is. So much athleticism and talent. You know what he can do with his defense. Just a wealth and an embarrassment of riches for Kenny Atkinson.
Well, Okoro, one of the best point of attack defenders. Just the depth of this Cavs team. As Hunter does it again, goes down the teeth of the Heat's defense and getting to the free throw line this time.
So DeAndre Hunter to the line. 85% free throw shooter on the season. 21 points for Hunter in game 3 in 28 minutes. And tonight his efficiency level has been right there again. 19 points off the bench. The chase for the cup continues tomorrow with a doubleheader on TBS. First, Carolina looks to close out New Jersey at 7:30 Eastern. And then game 5, Edmonton in LA against the Kings, 10 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock, all on TBS and Max. And we will be watching tomorrow night. Final tune change, third quarter. On what is going to be the final night of the season for the Miami Heat. Adebayo's pass intercepted. And this Cleveland defense is not quite done just yet. Javonte Green, as Kenny Atkinson will start to empty his bench. No Darius Garland for a second straight night. They'll try to get that foot rested and ready for the Eastern semis. As Garland is out for a second straight game. It's the big toe on his left foot.
Well, after Mobley, Garland, and Donovan Mitchell missed a combined 84 games last year, Jerome missing all but 2. Kenny Atkinson was asked what's the primary focus this year, coming into this year, and it was health.
And it's just wild to think, Candace, this time last year, people were asking the question, can Mitchell and Garland coexist, or does Cleveland maybe have to move Garland and reshuffle the deck?
And that's what our job is in the media, is to overreact. And Cleveland, knowing what they had, running it back with pretty much the same team, a different philosophy on the head coaching front, and a little bit of luck with health. And you see 64 wins later, we're all saying that they're contenders for a championship.
Wild miss on a 3 from Adebayo. And that thing is tracked down by Wade. Cleveland last year, 47 wins. And then went down to the Boston Celtics, the eventual champs, in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And what a difference a year has made for this franchise. Green misses corner 3. And we're down to 90 seconds in the quarter. 16-win improvement orchestrated by Kenny Atkinson, who took over the reins from J.B. Bickerstaff, who, of course, has moved on to Detroit. What a season he has led the Pistons. Jovic to the rack. Hunter working against Jovic to the basket. And Hunter still pleading his case with the officials. That guy has been all intensity for Cleveland. What a perfect fit.
And Green closing out on Duncan Robinson on that play, preventing the three-point shot. And that's what they've done, the hard closeouts, forcing the Heat shooters and Robinson and Hero to put the ball on the floor. I mean, the NBA is all about generating paint points and catch and shoot threes. And the Cleveland Cavaliers defense is built to take that away, and they did just that today.
You just think if you're Tyler Hero, had such a tremendous season, best year of his career highs basically in every major offensive category, first-time All-Star this season, but he has learned very quickly what it's like to be the guy since the Jimmy Butler trade. Obviously side by side with Bam Adebayo, but he has been such a focal point of this Cleveland defense. There's Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins. I wonder if their season, their night is over. The unforgiving world of the NBA at this level. Jaime Jaquez has checked into the game. Khalil Ware, the first-year player, is back in for the Heat as well. 8 to shoot. Javonte Green coming with some nasty. Boy, and he had bad intentions. That'll wake him up here. And Javonte Green's going to get some good run in the fourth quarter, and he's got some energy to burn.
Javonte Green getting everyone on the Cleveland Cavs bench up on that attempted throwdown.
4 collegiate years at Radford, undrafted in 2015. It's his 6th year in the league. A split time this year between the Pelicans and the Cavs. Signed in February to provide some defensive backcourt depth as he plays with his 4th team. 108-61 with 14 seconds left in the quarter. Davion Mitchell leans in and hits the nice little floater against Dean Wade. Final seconds of the quarter. Ty Jerome will sling it and hit it.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Ty Jerome playing again like he's back in Charlottesville. 111-63. The Cleveland Cavaliers running the Heat out of their own gym here in Game 4. They are 12 minutes away from a first-round sweep. First-round coverage on TNT is presented by NerdWallet. Upcoming national playoff schedule. Busy night tomorrow. 4 games, 2 of which will be on NBA TV. Bucks and Pacers with Indiana a chance to close out that series. Followed by Orlando and the Celtics. TNT will have Detroit Knicks and Clippers Denver. What a finish to that Detroit Knicks game. Of course, the incredible finish Clippers Denver Game 4. Aaron Gordon, the hero. And we will be watching tomorrow night. NBA.com or visit the NBA app. A 48-point Cavaliers lead as they try to put the finishing touches on the Miami Heat. Ball broken up. Javonte Green.
And Sparrow, there are no words with the intention and the mentality that this Cavs team is playing with top to bottom.
Kenny Atkinson has emptied his bench as we play opening minute of this fourth quarter. Craig Porter Jr., undrafted out of Wichita State, 2nd year in the league. Back to Porter into the corner. This is Okoro on a quarter 3.
And right there, right back up to 50%. 18th tray here in South Beach.
Cavaliers shooting at a 57% clip. Kansas, it seems even better than that. Jovic.
And if there's any bright, if there's any bright spot in terms of who's come in and been able to get loose a little bit, 21 points.
How about Javonte Green? A couple of high-flying dunks. And they're having a good old time on that Cavaliers bench. Jaime Jaquez. Guys falling out of the mix this season for Eric Spoelstra.
Right here, Duncan Robinson mishandles Green, doesn't give up on the play. Nice little jam in transition. Sometimes an opportunity knocks. I don't care if you are up 40, 50, it doesn't matter. You're a young player that wants to make it in this league. You bring the energy. You take advantage of the opportunity that you had. You've been playing every day against the best in practice, and now it's time to showcase what you've been doing all season.
And Javonte Green's, he's been on the playoff stage before with both Boston and Chicago. If you haven't noticed yet, he's not a man who's going to shy away from the bright lights. Davion Mitchell into the paint. Officials are going to get Porter Jr. on a reach-in foul. Candace, maybe a little early to start thinking about potential second-round matchup for Cleveland, but they're going to face the winner between Indiana and Milwaukee. Pacers obviously have a stranglehold on that series, 3-1. And you start to think about what that matchup could potentially look like. We've been singing Cleveland's praises here for the last couple of hours, but boy, how good has Indiana looked?
Well, Indiana has played with pace all year, obviously led by Tyrese Halliburton, but we talk about another year where Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner is doing a great job of mixing it up inside and out, and they've done a great job in this series on the defensive end, which has been a question mark in years past.
Robinson. Well, just think how prolific Duncan Robinson was as a three-point shooter a couple of years ago. As Okoro misses, just hasn't been in the mix much. Got that big contract extension. This is another rainbow three. A team that was so desperate for some outside scores, any kind of scores.
Well, Duncan Robinson played a huge role in that 2023 run to the finals against the Denver Nuggets. But the difference is he had facilitators in Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler. And when you're a shooter, you're able to play off those guys and get open looks. You're not creating it for yourself.
Tristan Thompson, the KG vet. Knocked out of bounds by Robinson with 5 to shoot. Javonte Green is going to throw in here just in front of that Cleveland bench. Okoro, and it's last touched by Cleveland. So the Pacers will have a chance to end that series against Milwaukee tomorrow. Maybe potential move up to that second round series potentially Saturday, maybe Sunday, if both of these series end by tomorrow.
And obviously the Bucks suffering a devastating loss to Dame Lillard. Wish him all the best. I know he's going to come back even better and stronger. He's built for it. But my heart goes out to Dame.
That was hard to watch last night. Had to be helped off the floor. Well, the physical ailments just worked so hard to get himself back for that team. And obviously his body, his legs gave out from under him again. Second straight postseason that Lillard, of course, has gone down due to injury.
And missing all that time with the blood clot, rush back to try to make a difference for his team. So it was just tough to watch.
Tristan Thompson and the Cavaliers contingent behind their bench making themselves heard. Davion Mitchell into the corner. Hopkins from 3. And the rebound tracked down by Okoro. Nice pass. Tyson ahead to Green. And the second and third stringers getting some nice run.
And Green, when you run, you get rewarded. 11 points off the bench.
Duncan Robinson misses everything. And we're down to 7:20 left to play. Reminder coming up, game 4, Rockets and Golden State. Jimmy Butler expected to return for the Warriors. Candace, we will be in Houston for game 5 of that series Wednesday.
Wait for game 5.
That thing can't get here fast enough. Jaime Jaquez down to the box. Davion Mitchell. Golden State, boy, what a gut check win for them. Without Jimmy Butler, seizing back the home court advantage of that series. And they're on the driver's seat tonight as we get an offensive whistle here. Looks like Tristan Thompson underneath. Down to 6:45 left in Miami. With the Heat season about to come to an end here on TNT. Time for our TNT game break presented by PayPal. As soon as this one is over, we will get you out to the Bay. Rockets, Golden State, game 4 of that series. Jimmy Butler expected to return for Golden State. Nothing official yet from the Warriors as Steph Curry goes through his pregame paces. Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller, Allie LaForce will have the call, and we will be watching later tonight right here on TNT.
I bet that shot went in.
Jaime Jaquez, man of the point for Miami. Just looking at some of these numbers on the box score. 58 bench points for Cleveland as Pelle Larsson's going to get himself to the free throw line. Cavaliers are plus 30 from the three. And, Eric Spoelstra hasn't had many nights like this in his 17 seasons. 14th playoff appearance in his 17 years here. Finished 8 games under 500, their lowest win percentage here in a decade, Candace. And again, you just start to think, some of the free agent stuff that they have on the horizon, what this team will look like next year, who's staying, who's going to be part of the core. As Pat Riley and Alonzo Mourning look on from their usual seats. (123-70) as we come up on the midway point of this fourth quarter. Jalen Tyson, shot clock at 3. Open look at a 3, a little bit off target from Chumo KK as he gets his first touch. It's Kel'el Ware underneath. Wrapping up his rookie season, he took him with the 15th overall pick. He was actually the rookie of the month in the Eastern Conference in January. Good looking stroke, and the Cavaliers not quite done just yet.
Well, you talk about what Miami Heat do to front court players in terms of their development. Kel'el Ware doing a great job getting better every single game this season for the Heat, and he could be a piece that we could be talking about in their step forward next year.
Really good alley-oop player. Just got to get some ball handlers for him to set him up with the skill set that he has. Nice little turnaround jumper there by Porter.
And not a bad looking stroke. He's got a potential to be able to stretch from beyond the arc from that lob threat position.
I think he'd be a good big man coach.
Versatile bigs only, okay? Versatile bigs. You know, 3D's got shooter's paradise. I got versatile bigs paradise. I got to come up with something better.
We got to come up with something catchy.
Well, we'll fix that, Candace. I like where you're going at, because the bigs today, you don't want to pigeonhole and put them directly on the block. But if they're versatile, they can pop out and get a little shooter's paradise and shoot a couple threes. How about that?
I like that.
There you go.
That.
All right.
3D in his lavender blazer. Porter Jr. knifing his way to the basket, and he goes glass. Craig Porter Jr. Here comes Larsson over the top of OKK. Soft little bounce.
And I think all of us have been on the end of, whether it's sweeps, whether it's ending the season in a blowout. It's a tough pill to swallow, to go into the offseason and ending the season like this, but I think it is also, as Okoro knocks down the 3, an area for growth and figuring out what you need to do to improve. But it is never easy going into the offseason ending on this note.
Gonna make it an extra long summer for the Heat. Well, they fought so hard to get into the dance. Those 2 tough play-in games. Finally went to Atlanta, won the overtime game to earn the 8 seed. Becoming the first 10 seed to make it to the play-in, get into the playoff bracket. But boy, they ran into one of the legitimate championship contenders this season in the Cleveland Cavaliers. comes Larson. Clean strip by Porter. And last touch by the Cavs. Well, if you're Kenny Atkinson, this was obviously the best case scenario. Get the sweep, take care of business, and get as much rest as you can. Darius Garland, that foot injury with the toe. One of the first things he said to us, we did the first game of the series, was get healthy.
And I think this is one of those performances where even the numbers don't do justice for what we just witnessed in terms of, I mean, this isn't a misprint as Tristan Thompson gets the and one. I mean, the biggest lead being 59 points. You got 70 points from your bench. Your bench competes against the 76 points total for Miami as Tristan Thompson shows off a little bit of that footwork.
By the way, with Tristan Thompson about to take this free throw, we want to extend our condolences to Kevin Love, who lost his father, Stan, former collegiate player at Oregon. Guy who was so beloved by so many players. Of course, Kevin Love, been playing in the league for so long. So our heartfelt condolences, our love and prayers to Kevin and the family. We saw a really emotional embrace pregame between Tristan and Kevin Love, two guys who know each other a long time. And what has been a rough couple of days for Kevin Love. Final 2:51 left to play here in Miami on TNT. The 2025 NBA playoffs are presented by Google. Again, as soon as this one ends, we will get you out to San Francisco. Game 4, Houston Golden State. Warriors trying to take a command 3-1 lead in that series. Amen Thompson. How does that young, rising Rockets team respond, Candace, in the biggest moment of their season?
Well, judging by how they responded after game 1, Ime Udoka has something else up his sleeve. They're going to need Jimmy to come back and be Robin, as I'm sure there's going to be a lot of attention to stop Steph Curry.
And we have been told that Jimmy Butler will indeed start in that game, so he is back. That scary fall, the pelvic contusion, as Golden State gets whole again. Here's Jaime Jaquez spinning, and he's going to shoot a couple of free throws with 2:35 remaining.
And what about Jimmy coming back and saying thanks to Batman and everybody on the team except for Buddy Hield? I mean, what did Buddy do?
So we could indeed be witnessing history here. Biggest ever playoff margins in the history of the NBA. Right now we're at 59 here with 2:35 to play. And that is about the only question left to be unanswered. Bam has had his face buried in those towels. Can barely bear to watch. And what has been an ugly couple of nights for this Heat franchise. 135-78. This is Jalen Tyson. And the rebound, Wade. Candace, it's going to get a lot tougher for Cleveland. We know that. This Heat team clearly outmatched. Likely Indiana's Ware unable to throw it down. Now, if you see the Pacers in the next round, you got the Boston Celtics getting healthy again.
But the thing about Cleveland is, from start to finish this regular season, it's always been about them. It's always been about the way that they play. And in a championship contending team, it's great to be able to control your own destiny with your purpose, intention, and continuing to play on the offensive and defensive end, no matter the opponent.
Pretty stroke by Tyson. High arching delivery from the corner. And we are down to the final 90+ seconds here in Miami. Duncan Robinson trying to lead Johnson. It's a turnover. So the Cavaliers will fly home tonight to Cleveland. Get a couple of well-deserved days of rest as KK misses from deep. And they will quickly begin preparations for the Eastern semis where they will face either Indiana or Milwaukee. Johnson with the right-handed flush. By the way, I thought this was some of your best broadcasting work tonight.
Well, between my family and yours, that's probably who's tuned into this.
Oh my goodness, 48 seconds. Jaime Jaquez going glass. Knocked around. And Larson cans the three. So Miami will be eliminated in the first round of the playoffs for a second straight year. Last year, of course, eliminated by the eventual champion Celtics. And now we'll see what kind of summer they have and figure out where this Heat franchise goes from here. A lot of questions that have to be answered, no doubt. After as disheartening a first-round performance as anyone could have anticipated here in Miami. Final 8 seconds. So Miami will avoid the worst ever playoff loss in NBA history. But that'll be just about their only saving grace. The Cleveland Cavaliers in a dominating 4-game sweep.
Медленно пройдя меж пьяными, всегда без спутников одна, дыша духами и туманами, она садится у окна. И веют древними поверьями ее упругие шелка, и шляпа с траурными перьями, и в кольцах узкая рука. И странной близостью закованный смотрю за темную вуаль, и вижу берег очарованный и очарованную даль. Глухие тайны мне поручены, ничего так солнце вручено. Иди, иди за мной, покорной и верною моей рабой. Я на сверкнувший гребень горный взлечу уверенно с тобой. Я пронесу тебя над бездной, ее бездонностью дразня. Твой будет ужас бесполезный, лишь вдохновением для меня. Я от дождя эфирной пыли.
Oh, heaven knows, men know that I love you so much, Jamila. Ooh, yes I do. You left my world and left me so cold. Now I'm wondering how I'm gonna get you back. Hey, nothing about to make it right. Jamila ya payment. Na dawo gida ban ga Jamila ba. Na dawo gida ban ji muryanta ba. Hey, wayo, a neman mun Jamila. Jamila, don Allah gida gida, babu abin da zai raba mu har abada. Jamila, zuciya na ɓaciwa. Gida gida, gida gida, gida gida. Ooh, no matter what people do or say, this love will never die. If I knew I never hurt you so bad, drinking so much, too much women.